Okay, yo, people. It's Mr. Lane. We're back with another edition of mobile lane vision learning. So today we're going to go over the variables playground. So I'm going to kind of go over a few things just so you guys get a kind of refresher on how this all works and what you kind of need to do, okay? So we're going to go through this. So this is what you've learned so far on how to create a constant. You declare a constant using the let statement, and then you get whatever you want to put the name after, equal sign, and then whatever value, okay? So in this case, when we run our code, you see that this is Paris, and it's coming out view Paris. Now for the function, it's not going to actually run until you actually run the print greeting function, and now it'll show up here. So print greeting, it's a print, it's going to print it, and it'll also show it over here, okay? So that's how you get the function, kind of like a review about functions, all right? So we're going to move on to the next page, and this is going to be kind of a breakdown of constant and variable, okay? So you kind of need to read this page. It's kind of easier to understand just the difference between what a constant is and what a variable is, okay? So when we declare a variable, we use the word var. So notice the difference. So let's run our code here. So notice the difference between let place of birth equals New Jersey and var current location equals New Jersey, okay? The var means that we can change it. So notice when you assign a new value to a variable, okay? So first, it's New Jersey, but when we run code, the next line will run in the next place, and that will take over the value, okay? So now it's California. Notice that there is no var, okay, in front of current location. So once you've declared it, you only declare it one time, okay? So down here, we're gonna assign a new value. So let's everybody use your current location, okay? Have it equal, and then you come up with a different place. What is your current location? It can be anywhere. It can be make-believe. I'm going to put my current location is just home, okay? And then when we run it, notice it still says California up here because that's this line of code. Now down here, current location now has become whatever you put in there. In my case, it's become home, okay? So notice that variables can be changed, all right? Moving on to the next page. Okay. So this is going to be like the last page I go over with you, and then I'm going to kind of have it flip to the end to kind of get you started on the assignment at the end, okay? So now that you've declared variables, how and when to use them, you use variables in places where your value in your program needs to change over time, okay? So an example of this would be the score of a game. As the player scores more points, your code would update the value of a variable keeping track of the score. For example, this variable is assigned an initial value of 0. And now we can update it like this, 10, 15, okay? Now, this is really, and let's run our code here. This is really the best way. Score equals score plus 5, okay? You're taking the value of what you used to have, okay, which is at this point 15, and you're taking 15 plus 5, which is going to give you 20, okay? So you need to make sure that you understand how that works, all right? Now, notice down here, if you pop out the numbers, this is 25, but score goes back to 20. We add 3, it's 23, but then it goes back to 20. And that's because you need to use the score equals score plus a number so that the value is stored. So now this is 25, and then when you do it again, this is 28, okay? So if we ran score again one more time, so let's just do this, and we can run score. It'll be 28, okay? So notice that when we use score equals score plus whatever number, it saves the value, where if you do it up here, it does not save the value, okay? All right. So what do you think of the score? The value of score would be after these lines. All right, so we're gonna do score equals 5, all right? And then we're going to use score equals score, and then we'll get the plus sign, and then we'll do plus score, okay? It should, after we run our code, B. Anybody want to take a shot? Should be 10. Boom. All right. So please go through the rest of this. Do not just skip from here, okay? You want to make sure you understand trying to make a change to a constant. You will be tested on this, okay? Not necessarily in a test, but in a debug. So make sure that you go through all these different things. Now, when you get to the actual exercise, so this is the actual homework you need to do. So I'm going to help start you out because it can be a little bit confusing. So exercise making a shopping list. The constants below represent some of the things you might add to a shopping list, okay? So eggs, milk, cheese, bread, rice, and then you have let new line equals, and then you have /n, okay? This is one of those escape sequences, and that is just going to bring it down to a new line, like when you press return, okay, in text in an editor. It's going to go down to the next line. We'll just show you and do the first and start the first one, okay? So you're going to create a string variable with the initial value of basically blank, okay? So we're going to do var because we're creating a variable, and what we're going to call it. And it looks like we're going to create a shopping list. So let's camel case it to make sure, and it's going to equal the value of that. Okay. Moving down to the next one. So now it says add each constant item above to the list one at a time. Add a new line in between each item. Okay. Remember, you can join two strings using the plus operator. Perfect. Okay. So remember, when we call a variable, we don't have to put var in front of it again. Shopping list. Okay. And you're going to do equals. And you're going to choose shopping list again, plus, and then the first item is eggs, okay? Now the shortcut, so this is a big shortcut. So you're going to add this. So when you run the code, all that's going to be on here right now is eggs, all right? The shortcut is plus equals. Plus equals, okay, does the same thing and means the same thing as, let me see if I can highlight this. All right, it's not working. Same thing as equal shopping list plus. That is plus equals, okay? And the next string we're going to do is new line, all right? Now when we run our code, look at the code here, and look at the code here. Notice that there is an extra line, okay? So when you add the new thing below here, it's going to add it to the line below it, okay? So you need to create this whole shopping list out by yourself, okay? All right, and that'll be it for today. And if any questions about this, we'll go over it. I'll be live tomorrow, okay? All right, everybody have a good day.